Welcome.
What's up?
Hey, now go sir.
Don't break the hand now. She's using it to do something small for the community.
Welcome.
So this is my community, Efutu Kokwado. I'm Mildred a CorpsAfrica volunteer serving in Efutu Kokwado in the Cape Coast North municipality of the Central Region of Ghana. So in my community, it's a farming community. So Efutu Kokwado simply translates as on the hill. So as you can see, we are literally standing on the hill, and the community is surrounded by hills. So our farmers are into rubber production, cocoa, cassava, plantain, oranges, palm tree, and then they also burn charcoal, and then they also do a lot of firewood cutting. Yeah. So in my community, it's a very small community. It's a population of 135 people, including 63 children, 18 years and below. So our population is a bit skewed towards children and the aged. We have just a little bit of youth in the community. One fun fact about our community. My community, the people in them, I call them jack of all trades because they have all the skill sets you can think of. They build their own homes. They act as masons. They act as carpenters. They do most of everything they need for themselves. They don't have to outsource some of these things that we have to outsource in the cities. So on deployment, it rained, and then after it rained, our bus also broke down. So my VL now got taxis to deploy us. And I was one of the first people to be put in the taxi to be deployed. But on the way, I was told, you can't go into your community because it has rained. I was like, what do you mean I can't go into my community because it has rained? So I was a bit nervous and skeptical. How can't I get into my community? So if I'm in the community and then it rains, am I stuck? What happens? It took 4 days before I was officially deployed into my community because the road was so bad that cars couldn't come in, motors couldn't come in. The only way you could get into the community was by walking. So I first had to even come in the community 2 days after it had rained by foot just to scout the community before I was officially deployed 2 days after that. So it took a whole journey before I got into the community. So my first night it started raining and I panicked because in my head I didn't have groceries, I didn't have food, so I was just wondering how will I survive staying here. But it's been a wonderful number of months. I have so much fun living in the community. Now when it's raining, I'm not bothered because I know I can still go and come. I know where to pass to avoid the mud. I know all the corners to get out of the community, so I'm not bothered anymore. I helped the school organize a carol service for the kids. I organized the movie nights in partnership with another group for the community where we watched like Stars on Earth just to give the parents the understanding that every child is unique and special and they don't need to compare their children to each other. I've also been teaching at the school. I'm literally a full-time teacher at the school because there are only 2 teachers at the school. I can do house to house so many times in a day because my community is fairly small. I've also been able to get some donation items of 9 laptops, tote bags for all the students in the school, exercise books, pens, pencils, erasers, sharpeners, and then we are now working on renovating one of our classrooms into an ICT lab so the school can have an ICT lab. Not just for ICT, but for all the other subjects, just to get the kids that literacy, digital literacy that they need to survive in the digital era. So my major project is a tricycle project, which would come to help the farmers. As I said earlier, my community is a farming community. Every 3 days after they cut rubber, they have to move it out of the community. There's always a lot of things that need to move out of the community. But due to the nature of our roads, public transports, it's a bit iffy and then they don't want to come into the community. You don't get loading cars coming into the community unlike other communities where there's a taxi rank for cars coming in or a motorcycle station. We don't get that because of our road. So this tricycle comes in to help not just the farmers, even school children. Our primary school ends at class 6. There's no junior high school, so no matter what, if you want to continue education, you have to go outside the community for junior high school. So our students have to use the same road every day to move in and out of the community. So when the tricycle comes, they get on board to go to school. If you are sick, there's no CHIPS compound, there's no clinic, there's no health facility in the community. You need to go outside the community to access health care. When the tricycle comes, when you need to access health care, it's going to do that job. And then when you put your staff on board, you are going to pay for it, which will generate income for the community. And whichever income you generate would be used further down the road for other developmental projects that will be of benefit to the community. So as a CorpsAfrica volunteer, from the get-go, they'll let you know there are lots of trainings that are going to build you professionally and then personally. I've been to PST, our pre-service training. I've been to IST1, IST2. And during IST2, I was one of 5 participants that pitched our community-led project to audiences to try and then get funding. Volunteer equals passion. If you are not passionate about volunteering, you might start, but it might be difficult for you. So make sure if you want to do this, be ready and willing, and have an open mind, ready to learn. There are so many things you are going to learn on board. You are going to have so much fun. You are going to enjoy life at a very slower pace that you would never have thought is what you needed. Honestly, your life won't ever be the same after you volunteer, live in a rural community for 1 year, give up things that you were used to, just to try and then make a difference in people's lives. Just the thank yous and God bless yous you get every single day, that alone is a game changer. If you want to be a CorpsAfrica volunteer, I urge you, just have that spirit, be ready to learn and be ready to help people. That's all you need and you will succeed.